Worst pandemics to kill the most humans ever. The COVID-19 pandemic, also known as the coronavirus pandemic, is an ongoing global pandemic of coronavirus disease 2019, or COVID-19, caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2. The novel virus was first identified from an outbreak in Wuhan, China in December 2019, killing millions of people. Until today, the death toll of people died from the coronavirus is over 6.4 million. But it's not the worst pandemic that the humans have ever faced in history. So today we're going to see the worst pandemic to kill the most humans ever. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Let's get started. The first in our list, the Plague of Justinian. The Plague of Justinian, or the Justinianic Plague, 541 to 549 AD, was the first major outbreak of the First Plague pandemic, the first Old World pandemic of plague, the contagious disease caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. Thought to have killed perhaps half the population of Europe, the disease afflicted the entire Mediterranean basin, Europe, and the Near East, severely affecting the Sasanian Empire and the Byzantine Empire, and especially its capital, Constantinople, killing up to 25 million people in its year-long reign of terror. The plague is named for the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, from 527 to 565, who, according to his court historian Procopius, contracted the disease and recovered in 542 at the height of the epidemic, which killed about a fifth of the population in the imperial capital. The contagion arrived in Roman Egypt in 541, spread around the Mediterranean Sea until 544, and persisted in northern Europe and the Arabian Peninsula until 549. Generally regarded as the Plague of Justinian, left its mark on the world, killing up to a quarter of the population of the eastern Mediterranean and devastating the city of Constantinople, where at its height it was killing an estimated 5,000 people per day and eventually resulting in the deaths of 40% of the city's population. In 2013, researchers confirmed earlier speculation that the cause of the Plague of Justinian was Yersinia pestis, the same bacterium responsible for the Black Death in 1347 to 1351. Ancient and modern Yersinia pestis strains closely related to the ancestor of the Justinian plague strain have been found in the Tian Shan, a system of mountain ranges on the borders of Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and China, suggesting that the Justinian plague originated in or near that region. The next on our list is HIV and AIDS. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, is a chronic, potentially life-threatening condition caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. By damaging your immune system, HIV interferes with your body's ability to fight infection and disease. The global pandemic of HIV and AIDS, human immunodeficiency virus infection and acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, began in 1981. In 1983, the HIV virus was discovered and identified as the cause of AIDS. It's an ongoing worldwide public health issue. According to the World Health Organization, or WHO, as of 2022, HIV and AIDS has killed approximately 40.1 million plus people, and approximately 38.4 million plus people are infected with HIV globally. Of these, 37.7 million people, 73% have access to antiretroviral treatment, and 16% do not know they were infected. There were about 770,000 deaths from HIV and AIDS in 2018, and 680,000 deaths in 2020. The 2015 Global Burden of Disease study estimated that the global incidence of HIV infection peaked in 1997 at 3.3 million per year. Global incidence fell rapidly from 1997 to 2005 to about 2.6 million per year. Incidence of HIV has continued to fall, decreasing by 23% from 2010 to 2022, with progress dominated by decreases in Eastern and Southern Africa. As of 2022, there are approximately 1.5 million plus new infections of HIV per year globally. And if this wasn't enough, the next on our list is the 1918 influenza pandemic. An influenza pandemic is an epidemic of an influenza virus that spreads across a large region, either multiple continents or worldwide, and infects a large proportion of the population. Influenza pandemics occur when a new strain of the influenza virus is transmitted to humans from another animal species. Species that are thought to be important in the emergence of new human strains are pigs, chickens, and ducks. These novel strains are unaffected by any immunity people may have to older strains of human influenza and can therefore spread extremely rapidly and infect very large numbers of people. In the last 140 years, there have been 6 major influenza epidemics, with the 1918 flu pandemic being the most severe. This is estimated to have been responsible for the deaths of 50 to 100 million people. The most recent, the 2009 swine flu pandemic, resulted in under 300,000 deaths and is considered mild in front of the flu pandemic. These pandemics occur irregularly. And the next disease outbreak on our list is nothing I've ever heard of. It's the Black Death. From 1346 to 1353, the Black Death, also known as the pestilence, the Great Mortality, or simply the Plague, was a bubonic plague pandemic occurring in Afro-Eurasia. It is the most fatal pandemic recorded in human history, causing the death of 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, peaking in Europe. As we know from before bubonic plague, it is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis spread by fleas, but it can also take a secondary form, where it's spread by person-to-person contact via aerosols, causing septicemic or eunomic plagues. The Black Death was the beginning of the second plague pandemic. The pandemic originated either in Central Asia or East Asia, but its first definitive appearance was in Crimea in 1347. From Crimea, it was most likely carried by fleas living on the black rats that traveled on Genoese ships, spreading through the Mediterranean basin and reaching North Africa, Western Africa, and the rest of Europe via Constantinople, Sicily, and the Italian peninsula. In 2022, it was discovered that there was a sudden surge of deaths in what is today Kyrgyzstan from the Black Death in the late 1330s. When combined with genetic evidence, this implies that the initial spread may not have been due to Mongol conquests in the 14th century as previously speculated. The Black Death was the second great natural disaster to strike Europe during the late Middle Ages, the first one being the Great Famine of 1315 to 1317, and is estimated to have killed 30% to 60% of the European population, as well as about 1/3 of the population of the Middle East. The plague might have reduced the world population from about 475 million to 350 to 375 million in the 14th century. In the history of humans, there were other pandemics that caused the deaths of many people, like the Asian flu, cholera pandemic, Antonine plague, etc. But we think these were the most pandemics that had yet occurred in our history to kill the most humans ever. Do you think these were the worst of them all? Let us know in the comments. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to be surprised in the future. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.